Oh yeah, oh yeah. I don't know if that music really fits what's going on the screen, but you know, it's classic Doom, man. We get Doom 2. So Doom 2016. I don't know if you would you call it, a watershed moment? I don't know. It's not like a revolution. It's not like a revolutionary change, but I think Doom 2016 brought back the fun in first-person shooters because as an older player, I've played Wolfenstein, I played Doom, Hexen, played Quake, and Half-Life 1 and 2, and somewhere along the line, the Call of Duty is definitely the key, but you can't blame it specifically on Call of Duty because Call of Duty really went big on Call of Duty 2, which is, what is that, 2005? I don't remember exactly, but there was this trend where, okay, Halo's fucking hot, GoldenEye's fucking hot, and so, we're game studios. What do we make? We need to make first-person shooters. And so there become so many first-person shooters out there that just like they're just mediocre crap. And reminds me something of like when Street Fighter 2 was really, really big, and then just all of a sudden you saw all of these just god-awful fighting games. Stuff like Primal Rage, which, even though that game had a cool aesthetic of, and it had, monkeys pissing on things, it was just, the actual game sucks. And so there's all these mediocre first-person shooters out there. What I like to call would be like flavor of the month titles. It's like, okay, well, it's June, so what first-person shooter is going to come out for June on Xbox OG? I'm sure that there probably is something there if someone went back and said, oh, well, it was Black or something like that. It's just, here's the latest thing. And a couple of them kind of went on to be things, like, Crisis was kind of something, although, yeah, it was a tech demo is all it was. Crisis was something for a while. You got games like Far Cry, which eventually became big things, but the majority of them are just junk. And so, when Call of Duty comes out, there's like these copycat people who are just making, Doom clones or whatever, and then they were making, their own things, and they're just kind of boring. And, so they copied Call of Duty, and so we had all these military bullshit shooters. Even Doom 3 really wanted to be Half-Life. It wanted to be Half-Life so bad. And what was real sad is that it's largely just a tech demo. And then 6 months later, Half-Life 2 comes out. And Half-Life 2 actually runs you in your damn systems, because Doom sure as hell didn't run on my AMD rig at the time. Ran like shitballs. And then Half-Life 2 comes out and it just fucking embarrasses it because Doom forgot what it was. And so it had just been so many of these Doom clones. Even Doom 64 was like a Doom clone. It was, Doom 64 is a great game, but it couldn't evolve. And then it comes down to, pretty much John Romero leaves. They had done pretty good on Quake. Quake's originally, became some more of just a multiplayer title. And then it's like, well, Doom 3 is unimpressive. Rage is shitballs. And so I think it kind of lost, I don't know if you'd say it's an identity or whatever. It lost the game. It lost making a game and being good, and not being a tech demo, and not being about super, mega textures and all this other shit, or, lighting, or having to, pull out your flashlight and then put it away to shoot a gun. Things that would just make games unfun. Doom's fun. It's foremost fun. And so when they worked up whatever, I forgot that Call of Doom. Doom of Duty. It's Doom of Duty, Brian. There's this famous damn thing out there of hidden footage of like all of these guys fighting these monsters that kind of look like ants, kind of look like people, and it's like a military thing. And they're like, yeah, we're heroes and we're stopping the invasion of Earth. And I'm like, this was supposed to be Doom 4? And it was like shit. And so I guess we're going to say literally that Pete Hines and Todd Howard went up there and they saw this Doom of Duty and they're like, yo, what the fuck is this? Because this ain't Doom. Start it over. And so they started over and they got Doom 2016. And Doom 2016, it's more closer to Painkiller than it is actual Doom. Actual Doom, your first 10 minutes of the map or whatever, you're kind of moving around, you're killing the monsters that are in there. And then like for the next 20 or 30 minutes, you're trying to figure out, how to get through the level. It's like a rat in the maze type thing, and you're in the maze, and you know you've killed all these guys. You're like, well, this guy's dead here, or this, I see this rocket launcher off on this pedestal here. How do I get to it? I'm hearing these switches and things are happening on the sound, secrets and stuff, and you're trying to find the keys. It's very puzzle oriented. Like old id games were very puzzle oriented, and so Doom 2016 has a little bit of puzzles. There's a little bit of exploring. There's a little bit of jumps and stuff, but it's mainly to pace out like the just arena style. Enemies spawn in and you kill them all, which is much closer to Painkiller or Serious Sam. We're going to lock you in a room. There's a lot of little things where you can volley up, you can climb up ledges and stuff and move around really good through the level. And there's double jumps and all this other good shit, but it's really Painkiller at heart. And you know, you just bunch of enemies spawn in. The classic ones, you know, the Macubuses, the Hell Knight. The Hell Knight is actually used the Doom 3 variant, which is pretty cool because you also had the Barons of Hell, which had the classic horns. And then you would kill all these guys and collect a bunch of treasure. You chainsaw a guy up from some ammo if you ever run low. And it's very cathartic. It was too easy for me because I played on Hurt Me Bleeding. I should have done Ultra Violence. And maybe one day I'll go back and play it on Ultra Violence, but what I found, what boy, that once you get that double barrel freaking upgraded to this little pieces because of the little progressions or whatever, and then the Gauss Cannon. Once you get the sniper thing built up on the Gauss Cannon, you're just a freaking just destruction, and it feels like the enemies are running from you. That's what you feel like when you're playing Doom. Now Doom Eternal is way different. Well, we'll talk about that pretty soon ourselves. But it's like just going through, gutting enemies out, freaking, you know, you got the glory kills and all that other shit, which kind of goes back to a mod for the original Doom called Brutal Doom. Or even there was like a Doom comic that never really got started, but had a first issue where the Doom guy, he gets a berserk spear and he literally goes like insane berserk, and he's like punching guts out of cyber demons and shit in the comic. It's great. You should look it up if you ever get a chance. So it brings it back. It brings the fun back in first-person shooters that was missing because, you know, a lot of times Call of Duty is like, here's a big set piece, and then here's this whack-a-mole type shit. It feels like you're playing Duck Hunt where, you know, you're sitting behind cover and you're shooting some guys, and then, you know, if you take a little bit of damage, you hide it for a little bit until your life regens. And in a way that can be good, but it doesn't match the old school fun of like Doom or Wolfenstein or things like that, where you're kind of manic running through the level, you're killing a bunch of shit and then finding keys to do things. And so Doom 2016 brings back the old school shooters, and it's so much better for it. It's so much better for it. I would play Doom 2016 always over Call of Duty, although I'm super biased because Doom's my favorite game of all time. But I won't even touch most first-person shooters these days because I'm just burnt out. I'm burnt out 20 years ago. It's like, and then when you play them, it's like I want to be them as fun as they were 20 years ago, and it's just not there. And it's just, or they're too much on cinematics, or they're too much on multiplayer. Doom 2016 has a multiplayer. No one even gives a shit. I think it was there to just blow up the freaking download because it was up to like 100 gigs or some shit on like Xbox One, if I remember right. I'm like, no one's playing this damn online multiplayer. It wasn't even done by it. It was done by, they had somebody else do it. But it was great because it needed something. It you know, you no longer had Carmack was no longer there, or if he was there, it was just kind of an advisory role. He just sitting in his office working on PR shit, apparently, according to various lawsuits. But where it had borked down, they redeemed themselves in 2016. So it's the watershed moment because now we're going to bring back, and you know, first-person shooters can be fun again, and it's mainly happening, in my opinion, on the indie scene. You got stuff like Iron Fury or Dusk or Medieval that are clearly going sort of this retro route, and I think that's all made possible because of Doom 2016. And you know, I remember, and I cannot remember where I seen it from, but what they had told the id guys, ZeniMax did, which is the head holder company for Bethesda, so they're like over that, is that you know, Doom should be just as popular as Skyrim. That's what they said. And you know, it's the fucking truth. And thank goodness Doom 2016 put them on the path, and I think Doom Eternal gets them even closer to that shit. I just pre-ordered my damn Marauder action figure. That's not really a part of this review, but I was hyped. Even though I've only ever played it, I played it like the moment it came out at midnight when Lord Gavin unlocked the game. I played it, and then I had beaten it by the next day. One day I think I'll go back and play 2016 again on a higher difficulty, but it brought Doom back to where it needed to be. And you know, there's a lot of talk about how the game kind of you know, when that first plays, that, you know, here's the story or whatever, and your Doom guy pushes the shit out of the way, and, like, he doesn't care about the story. They managed to kind of walk the line where they do give you a pretty detailed story. I don't give a fuck about it, and your character doesn't seem to give a fuck about the story, but it's there. And so if you're interested in the story, you can follow that and look at it. There's a great little progression system on the weapons, which is kind of required these days. You know, Doom, you felt good. The original Doom, you felt good as you would go and you would get better guns, but, you know, there was only like 7 or 8 guns, and so once you got them, you were kind of good, and you were just mainly turns toward an action game then. And but this game has that detailed progression system, the runes and all that other stuff, and or abilities, whatever the hell you want to call it, and it's just enhanced in Doom Eternal, and so it's on a trajectory that makes me hyped for when the next Doom game comes out, because Doom 3 was just a fucking wreck. It was really, really bad. It was just a tech demo where they made you listen to audio tapes to get ammo out of lockers, or fiddle with keyboards. They were so excited that when you walked up on a computer in Doom 3, that you could kind of click through it and do things. It's just like, God, that's not Doom. That's not what Doom is. And so they brought the demons back. The demons, the shotguns, and the gory kills, and killing everything. And that's where Doom needs to be from now on. And I'm hoping that, you know, a lot of other first-person shooter peoples out there realize that, you know, don't follow the trends. The trend this day is a third-person open world, and so you get bored on shit like Mad Max. It's like just so sad. The trends there's always gonna be dummies out there, but hopefully first-person shooters are back where I can be excited to play first-person shooters. And Doom 2016 has brought that back. So, you know, how about some you know, let's bring back Halo. Let's make Halo good again. Make Halo great again, kitty. Let's you know, let's make James Bond great again too. Can we do that? That'd be rough. But I'm digressing now. I'm off on a tangent. But it's a must play. A lot of people are off put by how fast Doom is. I would ask you to quit being a weenie. Oh, 2 paws up, dude. I mean, we didn't need to describe it. Kitty loves cyber demons. Brian loves killing shit. Okay, 2 paws up, guys.